Can you hear me? I'm sure that you can, but I cannot find where the comments are because I'm so bad at this. Oops. No, not that. Oh, there we go. I got some comments right there. All right. Alrighty. So the other day, I put out a chart request, and I got probably like half of them done. The other half I still have to get to. Let's see. Trup and apps. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, they just had earnings, big spike, and came back down. I need to find, first of all, this is like one of those parabolic charts that it's just difficult to read for me, unless you're going on a lower time frame. It's like very low volume, like 2,000 per hour. It looks like they're just selling it. I mean, below all these lines, it can't go anywhere. I mean, these are the levels, but so I would put one viewer. Okay, well, if you look at the daily, I mean, it went from in March $23 all the way up to $75, so it tripled itself in a matter of a few months. All-time high. I mean, they're just like they're shedding these stocks. I don't like this one at all. Go to apps. Somebody had already asked for that, I believe. Yeah. So with apps, it's the same thing. It's got this big volume spike. It's holding above it. Nothing great there. It just keeps trending up, but I mean, this could instantly reverse down right below that red line. It looks like it's already ready to. I mean, a lot of people still want to keep going long, and I get it because everything's been going up and up, but there's nothing. I mean, they've made their moves. Literally, in this month alone, it went from $12 to $25, so it doubled itself in a month. Big volume spikes. I did Amazon, PFE. It's one I've been looking at for a long time. Yeah. Inverse head and shoulders fail, goes way lower. Now it's got another inverse head and shoulders big time look. Back testing that diagonal. Is it 3 days inside a mother bar? Oops. So with PFE, you can see that it came, it did its inverse head and shoulders, big pop up on the end, holding steady right above this largest volume, right across. Every time it goes down, it comes back up. So this one's actually looking pretty decent for a move soon, as well as all healthcare is mostly. Uh-oh, I've got a whiny baby. Hey, you. What's up? Come here. It's not really coming here. Oh. So I mean, PFE's got this little tight flag, and if it can break above the diagonal, he's right here. It can go higher. I'm just doing my live stream. But for like, there's one person.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
My one impressionable fan is like, wow, way to bring a baby into the live.
Sorry. Love you.
Love you too.
Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah. I think the level I'd want to see break for it to go higher is right here. Because you've got a false break down here, a false break out here, and now we're just staying tight. I want you to keep guessing, but I'm really guessing higher for PFE. I'll just type up my little review real quick. It'd be nice if I talk to text, since my typing is so bad. as far as determining a target, I mean, there's a whole gap right here. Look at that gap. Obviously, this is the big volume here that stopped us. If you look right here, in this day, there's a 4-hour candle that is stopping us, that stopped us. So first target, 39, well, let me go back to the 3-day chart. Yeah, so that's the biggest volume on the top side. $39.83. All right. Just keep that there. So the thing I've told people on Twitter time and time again is you look at these big volume bars like this. Alright, just chill with the circle right here. We got these down here, just where we found our bottom. Go to the daily. Biggest volume bar right here, or one of the bigger ones right here, is also where we stalled for a minute. And you can see how we did a bear flag, went down. This is the false breakdown area down into another large volume support. Both of these right here. Those were what we were coming down to test. And then we came down, tested it, gapped above the it was demand, broke, and it sucked. So it gapped above, made it demand again, came down here, false breakdown, and then see, you can even just see on the day that it came back from another false breakdown, it opened higher than the demand, came down, tested it, and then closed higher, and then gapped up 4% the next day and just started a run through all these big volume spots. You got this one here, 35.52. You got a doji right here that formed as a back test above the Celt. Keeps going up, 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 straight through the weekly supply, because you can see here the weekly supply, or it was weekly demand. It went below, came up, flagged a bear flag, came down, back up, a flag that failed, came back up, now a flag for the third time. You can see, how powerful this $138 zone is. So, seeing this big downtrend channel, and then we finally break above it and we're flagging, you don't want to get in it too early. Like if you weren't in it down here, you don't want to get in it yet. You want to wait until we break above this flag, and preferably 39.83 to go for 42.98, and then all-time highs from there. Okay, so I already printed that one. So then let's check out Jamaya. Oh, they closed the 2-week chart yesterday. So the next one starts next week. So I like this chart. This is one that I'm surprised GG Trades isn't all over. This is one of my dudes in MTO, and he's all over small caps, which I think this is what this is, but I don't trade it. So anywho, if you go to the weekly chart alone, this is where I found that it was going to keep going up. It doesn't even need big volume, because we got big volume right here, and I think this is where we crapped out at. Close. Right. Didn't even make it to 25.63, so that means that's incomplete. Okay, so we need to get back up to 25.63. Let me look at what an option is on this thing, because this could be one of those charts that you're just like, go crazy and just buy something way out of the money with some time. JMIA. So calls for January 21st. The $30 option is $200, which is a little high in my books. But what about November? No, still. I mean, you might as well, if you're going to buy a $30 option for this, you might as well go to January, because the November one's $145. You're paying $50 less for $50 to $60 less for 2 months less time. That's just really not worth it. So if you think it's going to 30, I think it can go as high as, definitely 25.67. God, the implied volatility on these is like 150%, which just makes it like a no trade for me to begin with. I hate that. The near term, they're all just so expensive because of the implied volatility. There's a decent amount of action in the $20 strike for $80 next month. That could work, especially if it finishes going up to 25.63. That would make that option worth over $500. Let me make sure that I didn't miss any. Cisco, I think somebody asked for something else. Work and VMW. Yeah, exactly, Esteban. It's just not something that I'm interested in trading, but if you're wanting to get long commons, that's not a bad idea. Just a forewarning, I might have to go at any time because my son is just having troubles with the potties, so I know TMI, but just letting you know. Don't think Piton. Silly. Let me show you the charts that I'm interested in before I go on, because that'll be easier than me just like going through something as it's going. So with MGM, I already posted my little analysis here, but you see this huge volume bar, and people like, there's 3 people in here watching me right now. I need you to understand, big volume and red bars don't mean people are selling. That means people are buying. It's just what it is. Whether it comes down and then goes higher is anyone's guess, but usually that is someone buying. I mean, you look at SPY and you think stupid people are buying or selling right here? No. I mean, yes, technically the stupid people are buying or selling right here. The smart people are buying right here, which is why there's a lot of volume. Even the smart people are buying right here because they know this is a false breakdown. And, if you had bought at 289, now it's at 330, you're up quite a bit. These big red volume bars here, somebody tried to tell me that this meant we were going lower. Right. And I knew it before I even started learning about volume. I was like, big red volume bars, that sounds familiar. You go back, big red volume bars, goes higher. Big red volume bar. Yes, in the short term, it does go lower. But somebody's getting in early. Somebody knows that this is going to rip from 289 to over 330. And this is the best example. Here, yes, people might be selling because it's going lower, or people might be loading up. But the big volume bars, those are the ones that that price will come back to. You see right here, just missed it. But right here, tap higher. You put the volume bar up here, goes below for 2 days, goes higher. Big red volume bars. They are important when trading. Put the bar up here. Look at this bar right here alone tested 1, 2, rallied huge off of it from 286 all the way 17%. I already have it marked here. 17%, 18% technically, from this bar alone, okay? And then when it came straight down from that, stopped right there after, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of intense selling, from 339 down to 286.83. And then it goes up, hold on, nearly 10% in just 4 days. 3 days technically, because this red bar was the top. So in 3 days, if you'd bought at that volume bar, you made 10% on commons alone with SPY. And then it drops lower because it hits another volume node here, which I'm not sure where. I think this is a weekly somewhere in here or something. It's an important for over here. But yeah, it's big volume bars. Cannot stress it enough. And you can even see when it hits this bar, a lot of people bought. A lot of people. That's that big bar right here. So yeah, people did buy. Why is the big big bar because people bought. Anywho, goes down further, comes back, look at that, tests it again, goes above and below, chops, goes below, and does like a flag up underneath it. And this is just like the ultimate fake out of all, because this gap is still open and people are racking their brains thinking, why is this gap still open? Why aren't people selling down to this gap? Because they don't want to. They want it to. They know it's going higher, but it will fill eventually. 286.83, very important number. There was a gap way long ago. Me and Barrington. It was like 270 or something. It was right here. 271. This gap had been left unfilled for months. From February 19 all the way to March 20. The 270 area finally got filled. So don't listen to people saying gaps always fill, gaps always fill. It's not how it works. Not until they want it to. Volume and gaps. The things you've heard from FinTwit is not the truth. People just don't listen and look, which is why I wanted to do a live on this for a while now. I just finally got to it. Anyway, so MGM. Back to MGM. Big volume. People are buying. This is an area, which is why I used the 3-day chart to find this biggest green bar here. People are above that now. We closed the 3 days. On Friday we closed the daily above that line. Now if we close it above 2248, this can zoom all the way back up to 52-week highs, and then from there, this could be like I'm not good at predicting the overstock type deals. That's more Chart Shark 13. But whenever you get this final sell-off type deal like this is like a sweet double bottom. So you get over 52-week highs, there's no volume in all of this. You see how little the volume is right here? Not really, because it's kind of hard to see. Okay. All this is zero volume compared to this and this. So people have bought. They're loaded up on MGM. They are ready to go. The Kelt alone is going to close above this. I don't know how long it's going to take to consolidate, if it does at all or what. But you can see how the 15 EMA on the monthly is 22.48. Lines up perfectly with my blue line. And that line is from volume. Right here. 22.48 is the number to beat. Let me just go to quarterly, because that'll make it easier to see. So, little to no volume since IPO. If I just zoom in, the biggest volume here, 14.46 on the open. Let me just put a horizontal line on that, and you can see, because I haven't been looking at where it bottomed. If you bought 14.46, you see the rising wedge or rising triangle here, pow, from 14.7 to 36. That's a pretty good gig in 5 years.
Yeah, you need a new one, huh, buddy?
Let's see. And if you just put it on the close too, that also works, because you get the perfect back test in 16 at 16.5 all the way up to 38. Move this. You need, what's up? Yeah, I know. Yeah, it smells. It kind of, does it smell? No. So this is the chart. This is one of those that you need to just close your eyes, buy commons, and let it go. I think it's going to be one of those overstock things, because this right here, from technically, here's your biggest volume. in July '08, and look at the perfect back test. Back test dropped below over 38.5, and this thing goes straight up to 98. Nobody will know where it came from. Not a single person. Except you, 2 people watching, and anybody else who watches the recording afterwards. Okay, it's cool, it's recording. Okay. Win has the same kind of look. Big volume here on the green. Closed just above it, above the Celt. This one races up to 95, races up to 106, and once that double bottom is put into place, this one is one that people have been dogging on for years. And yet it's got its biggest volume now. Why now? Because people are buying it because it's going to go up. And after COVID, it's going to the moon, you know? This 127.35, by the way, is right above this doji. Right above it. And dojis are the second most important thing aside from volume. Because you can see here, once it got above the doji, it went high. Came down, tested the doji, flagged up to this volume here, and then came straight down. And now we get above 94, we get above 127.35. It goes to all-time highs, over 250. And Eye of the Storm makes a boatload of money. So we go back down to the monthly. You can see that doji, how it's been important all throughout this. So that's one of my red lines here, is 95. 95 can come quick, followed by 106.75. And then all-time high. And it's the fake out Head and Shoulders too that also gets me, because this looks like a Head and Shoulders. Let me just draw it, in case you can't see. Head and Shoulders, fake out, goes higher, it's going to be huge. Sadly, the premiums on Win are also quite high. I look at a January 190, they're $400. Or that's the January 22. So January 21 of 190 is $90, which is not too bad. So, you know, I'm probably gonna end up finishing most of this tomorrow, pre-market and stuff, but I just wanted to explain the volume bars, do a couple of these charts, and look at that. Piton. Red volume bar at 45, or it closed at 43. If you thought it was going lower there, you were wrong. And I thought here, this is before I understood volume, okay? So this is the Thandicator alone, you know, without Celts, although the Celts can also prove that it's, as it's above, it's going higher, consolidates into the 15 and then goes higher. Now it's starting to do a little bit of, so I'm not a big fan of how it looks now, but back then, turn off my Celts, put it in the log form. You got this big trend line. I wanted it to go lower here. I wanted this to be a fake out, but whenever a white candle closes above a white candle like that, and there's no black candle underneath black candle, it's going higher. So you see here, when you got a black candle under a black candle, it goes lower, and then a black candle goes lower. Now you get a white, a black, and let me see. This doji here was a white candle, a white inside candle, and then when we close above this white candle, finally it zips up. White, white, higher. So this big volume here, put a green on the open, and you see how it goes above, consolidates above, and then zips higher. At 49 you buy, goes up to 69 really fast. Easy stuff. Not bearish. Vasily. A big red bar. Now we're sitting at it again. This is one of those charts that, I mean, look at it. It closed just below it. It could be a bear flag. You'd have to wait until Monday to see how it performs. From March, it went from $10 to $117. So, I mean, for it to go down, it could go down to this unchecked volume at 34.65 and still technically be bullish. But until then, you could bank on a 50% drop post earnings. Look at that. It dropped 17% after earnings. So I'm okay with this going lower. It's another chance to buy in. Alrighty, well, I'm going to wrap it up, and I will finish the rest of these tomorrow. Alright, hope you got something out of it, and